Y'all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today, guys, we are going to be doing a fun little collab with Dub's Beauty Diary. She reached out to me and asked if I would like to do a collab video with her, and I was like, sure, why not? I enjoy collabs. This is only I think the second one I've done since I started my channel, which is kind of interesting, but yeah, so I was like, yes, absolutely. And she had this really fun idea about taking like a summer palette and using it for a quote unquote winter look, which for me, I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. But then I really had to think about it because I I own a lot of palettes, but I feel like I didn't have a lot of palettes that I would wait, like I would even know how to do a winter look with that are considered summery. Like those really bright, bold shadows are just not what I think of for myself for winter time. And then I was originally going to do like a Pat McGrath palette because it's been a minute since I was using my Pat McGrath palettes. But then I remembered one palette that I swore after I filmed my last year I filmed my eyeshadow palette ranking. I said, hey, you should use this palette more. You like this palette. You've gotten use out of it, but not enough. And that was the Unearthly Cosmetics Spring Magic palette. So yes, it's called Spring Magic, but as you can see, it's quite bold. It's quite colorful. It's not necessarily a palette that you would reach for this time of year. So I thought this is perfect. And also I wanted to sort of challenge myself to do something that was neutral but also colorful, if that makes sense. So so I've got, because there are shades in here that are neutral that I think really work really well for a neutral look, but I also think I can kind of like add a little twist to it. So I finished my makeup. Everything that's on my face I'm going to list down below. I'm wearing MAC Stone on my lips. I don't know if I will keep this lipstick. It's between this one and Hodgepodge, so I put this one on first, and I was going to do my eyes and just sort of see how everything looked together, but if I don't like it, I can always take it off and put on Hodgepodge. Also, there is a truck that has decided to just park right outside of where I live and just sit there, and it's a work truck, and I've waited it out as long as I can. So if you hear a truck in the background, I apologize. I will try to do something in the editing process so that you're not hearing it as much as I'm hearing it right now. But yeah, I thought it was just going to move along, and then I looked out the window and I was like, oh no, he's here to stay. So show must go on. So let's get into it. I've zoomed you in. I have, like I said, I've done my makeup already. I've primed my eyes. I used my About Face Beauty Shadow Fix Primer. So let's get into it. I decided that I really want to do, I think I want to do neutral on the top and then do something colorful maybe in the inner corner and on the lower lash line. I'm not going for a super heavy look. I am going to work, but I wanted to try to use this palette in a way that I think is realistic for my life at the moment. So I'm going to go in with the shade Cleanse, which is this shade here. And it's very taupey, but it reads quite, I want to say kind of grayish on me a little bit. So let me grab a pencil. Or did I say a pencil? I mean a brush. I'm thinking pencil brush because I want a brush. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, guys, which is another reason why I'm annoyed that there's a truck outside my house, because I'm like, I thought I had gotten up early enough to avoid that, but clearly not. All right, so we're dipping into Cleanse, and I'm using a Rephr 15, and I'm just going to dust that all in the crease, and as you can see, it's quite light on me, but I've used this shade a few times, and so I know how to make it work. I'm also going to think I'm going to turn up my lighting just a bit, not too much, just a bit. It's still really, it's just getting light out now, so it's still quite dark out. And this, I don't have a ton of Unearthly palettes. I think I have like three of them, maybe 4. So I don't have like a long history of using their palettes, but I've used enough to know that they have a really good formula. Their metallics are beautiful. Their mattes are beautiful. I've never had any like issues with their palettes. So I don't know if this one is still available. I received this one in PR from when I was on the Creators and Friends retreat last April. This was the palette that they had released, and they were one of the sponsors of the trip. And so we received this palette along with the rest of the Spring Magic collection, which is such a pretty collection. You know, it's so interesting to me because I'm like, I don't really use color as much as I used to. But I still love looking at color palettes because they're so fun, but I never want to like, not never, but I almost never want to like apply like green shadow, blue shadow on my face right now. What is this? I think I got powder on myself here. I'll blend that out later. All right, so this I am using the shade Clove, and I'm literally just using that on the outer corner, as you can see, just to build up some depth. And I was trying to decide while I was waiting for the truck that would leave that is clearly never going to leave. I was swatching some of the metallics in the palette to decide what to use, and I'm still kind of on the fence because I'm going to use Grimoire on the lid, and that is my favorite shade in this palette. It is so beautiful. I am a sucker for a really pretty metallic taupe, and that's what this is. It has a little bit of something else going on in it, you know. It's not just like a straightforward taupe, but it's so pretty. So let me show you guys what this looks like. So this is Grimoire. And look how pretty, look, so this is what I'm going to be putting on my lid. So I might as well use my finger since I've got this all on my finger. I might as well put it on my lid. So this is Grimoire. I really should be using a brush to do that because my nails are quite long. How pretty is that? Oh, I love it. I love this shade. Is it probably the most basic shade in the palette as far as the metallics go? Yes. Do I care? No. I loves it. Okay, I'm gonna do, is the truck leaving? No. False alarm. All right, so then I'm gonna do this one. Makes me so sad. I swear, guys, it's like, I live on a busy street. Like, I do live on a busy street that gets a lot of traffic. It's just the reality of where I live, the street that I live on. But I swear, it is never as loud as it is when I decide to sit down and film a video. The moment I decide to sit down and film a video, everybody and their mama is like, peekaboo. It drives me insane. So, yeah. All right, so now we're going to do the lower lash line, and this is where I am struggling. This is where I'm on the struggle bus. So now I'm wearing a green, like, mock turtleneck shirt. So I think I'm going to go in with the green. So I think I'm going to start with, I might take a little bit of cleanse first, and then go in with Herbalist, and see what that gets us, okay? Let's just say, let me grab a pencil brush. Now I can say pencil brush. This is like not a pencil brush. Well, it is. It's like a chunkier one. This is a rougher 26. So it's like a slightly chunky. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of cleanse on the lower lash line. And honestly, I'm doing this mostly to just give this dark green something to kind of like blend into. I find that when I go straight in with dark shades on my lower lash line, I have a hard time blending them out. So I'm just doing this to give it something to sort of like slide against, you know? All right, and then I'm going to take a smaller one because that color is quite dark and I don't want that to be everywhere under my eye. So I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush. And this one, this little baby, which still has shadow on it, but we're going to ignore that. This is a baby pencil brush, and this is a number 3 from Refer. And I'm going to use this in Herbalist to blend that out on the lower lash line. So this palette has such a pretty big, gorgeous mirror in it. I love it. I love it when palettes have like a nice mirror that you can really use. Not just a mirror, but like a nice mirror, you know? It's like usable. And I have to say, guys, this is probably the most eyeshadow I've worn in a minute. I just haven't been on an eyeshadow kick, so I'm hoping that like doing this video will help me like kickstart my eyeshadow wearing, because mostly it's just because I get up pretty early. I don't have a lot of time to do my makeup. I think So I took the green just up to here, but I think I want to take the shade. So this is Dragonfly, and this is Sprout. I think I'm going to take Sprout. However, I did not bring my setting spray to spray my brush. So we're going to use Sprout, and I'm going to spray my brush. I'm still using the same rougher number 3, the little bitty baby brush. I'm going to spray that. Alrighty, and I'm going to take that on the lower lash line. And I do have a little fallout, so I'm going to clean that up, like under my eyes when I'm done with this. Oh. That's pretty. And now I'm going to take, what do I want to take my inner corner? I could still use, I get eyeshadow in my eye a little bit, Dragonfly in my inner corner, but I kind of want to do something contrasting because I feel like that's, even though they're not the same type of green, it's kind of, you know, a bit samey, and I kind of want to do a little bit of contrast. So let me try, should I use my fave, Mystic? Now Mystic is, oh, I love this shade so much. Mystic is one of those shades that shifts. It shifts from green to pink. And I kind of like the idea of that in the inner corner. However, it's quite dark, so maybe not. What do you guys think? I don't know. I think that's a little too dark. No, but I also could use Sunshine. That's pretty. Or Warmth. I'm going to use Warmth because I like it has a little bit more warmth to it. No pun intended. All right. Let's spray my brush again. Using the same brush because why not? I've decided to use Mystic anyway, guys, but I'm going to use Mystic in a very specific, strategic way. I'm going to use it to marry these two together in a way. And also I'm going to take a little bit of it and put it next to Herbalist, just right underneath. I just really like this shade. It's probably, after Grimoire, my favorite shade in the palette, and I just needed a little bit under my eyes. I just wanted a little bit, you know, I needed it. All right, so then I'm gonna take a angled brush, and I'm going to angle brush. Hello, I just saw you. Here you are. This is a very old LH Cosmetics angled brush. I think I still have powder on it from when I was using it for another brown shadow. And we're going to take a little bit of Clove. I'm just dipping this. And then I'm going to take that along my lash line. And this is just to add some depth to the lash line. Just right around here. It's not going to be something that's like super visible. Excuse me. It's not going to be something that's super visible. I like to do this because it just gives a little bit of depth to the outer corner of the eye. And it's not necessarily that because you can see the color itself. It's just more the way that it creates shadow and depth. Let me take this a little bit further in. And if you're someone like me who doesn't necessarily want to use like liner and, you know, but you want your upper lid to have a little bit more depth to it, this is a good way to do it without like having to do anything really like that's noticeable. All right, guys, so that is the finished eye look. I'm going to go put some mascara on and then we'll come back and clean up this under eye area here. And yeah, I'll be back. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. I have applied my mascara and then I cleaned up a little bit under my eyes because I did have a little bit of fallout, but this is the finished look. Now, with this lipstick, I don't hate it. I don't. I think it's actually quite pretty and it really plays in with the cooler tones on the upper lid, and then I have the warm tones that are playing with the green. So I'm actually think I'm going to keep this on. But if you saw my last video, if you want to know what Hodgepodge looks like, I did a swatch video where I swatched Hodgepodge, and I was actually wearing it in another video that I got a ton of compliments on the lipstick. So yes, I do highly recommend the new MAC new nudes, the like re-releases and the updated nudes that they've come out with, because they're super pretty, and every time I wear one I get a ton of compliments. But yes, so this is the finished look. I hope that you enjoy it. Don't forget to check out Dub's Beauty Diaries video. I will leave the link to her video down below. Let me know what you think of this look, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.